Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on the risk governance, wildfire risk governance in Croatia. I'm the coordinator of the Fire Risk Project, and I would like first to thank our colleagues from Croatia who organized this webinar, and to my colleagues that are supporting it technically. And I would like to greet all the attendants that I understand that come from all over Europe and perhaps also from other parts of the world to follow this fourth webinar in the series that we are organizing on the risk management, wildfire risk management, and particularly on wildfire risk governance. This is done in the context of Fire Risk Project. And for those of you that are not familiar with the project, I will make a brief presentation to introduce our objectives. And I will share this presentation. Can you see the first slide, I suppose? Okay. Well,
you need to change to presentation mode. Definições de monitor. Duplicar, ou trocar ou duplicar.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, this project started already almost 3 years ago. It's a 4-year project, and we are developing a holistic risk-wise strategy to the management of wildfire risk. And the objectives of the project, as you can see, is exactly the main objective is this: to develop, test, and disseminate an integrated science-based strategy to manage risk in the Europe. And we are doing this looking at all aspects of the risk. First, we are developing methods to assess the risk that go beyond the risk, the concept of danger. Then we are producing methods to reduce current risk in the communities. Then we want to adapt our society and our landscape to future climatic change and socioeconomic change. So what will happen? So these are the 3 keywords of our project: assess the risk, reduce the risk, and adapt to future conditions. We are doing this in close collaboration with researchers, practitioners, policymakers, and citizens. And this webinar is an example of that. And the project has a consortium with 38 partners that come from 18 countries. We have many research institutions, but also operational agencies. And we have a very interdisciplinary background of scientists in our consortium. As I said, we are analyzing the wildfire risk in all its components. We are involving the population in fire management science. We are focusing our attention in the very large fires, and this means also in wildland-urban interfaces that are affected by the fire. And we are also looking at different methods to reduce risk and capitalize from previous experience. We wish to promote methods to improve the training and preparedness of all stakeholders, including citizens. And then we are looking at adaptation and integration of all aspects of risk. And for this, we are looking to fire regime scenarios that can be brought up by the future climatic conditions. And we are also looking at new fire-prone regions, especially in the northern areas of Europe and also in the mountains of high altitude, where the problem is coming worse. We want to integrate results with existing systems, platforms, and networks. And as I said, we are working together with the international research community. The project is managed by a steering committee. I'm the coordinator, and I'm supported by Professor Emilio Chubieko, who is the scientific coordinator, and George Eftikidis and Ionis Gitas that support also in the coordination. We have 5 pilot sites where we are demonstrating and showing that the products that the project is developing can be applied. And we have also demonstrated areas where some smaller scale demos and experiments are made. And we also want to apply the concepts developed by the project at the European scale. And this webinar is also about this, because we are looking at what happens in different countries of Europe in terms of risk management, and if it's possible to propose a framework to the entire Europe. And to do this, we, in our research, we have been developing some tools. One of the first products that the project produced is this full map of Europe, which is an invaluable instrument for everyone who is working in fire management, because we need to know what is on the ground and what can burn. And this is a map that we produce and can be updated at different scales. This is for, then we also developed a framework, a strategy to analyze the risk of fire. And this seems to be a complex diagram, but it includes all aspects that have to do with the risk, danger, exposure, and vulnerability, and all the factors that affect it. Each one of these lines, each one of these blocks is a research topic, and we are doing investigation on some of them, of course, not all of them, but this is the methodology that we are proposing to assess the risk of wildfire. And we have been applying it to different countries and to Europe. And one of the aspects that we have been doing is to analyze past cases. And in conjunction with the GRC, we produced a report on the wildfires that occurred in 2021. We have already finished a report on the 2022 fires, which is now being produced, and we are preparing another report on fires that occurred last year. In the context of risk management, we are supporting the transition from this classical or traditional risk management based on these concepts of prevention and suppression to a more holistic perspective, more integrated, that takes into account all aspects. And for this, we understand that it is necessary to have a scientific strategy, a management framework, and a risk government policy. This is aimed to the people, to different stakeholders that are somehow listed here. And with these webinars, we want to understand in Europe what is happening, what is the scientific strategy, what is the management framework, and what is risk government and policy. So far, we have done 3 webinars like this, one for the Portuguese case, for the French, and for the Spanish case. Today, you are having this one on Croatia, and I see that we have a very good program with people from different backgrounds, and I greet our colleagues and greet the speakers for this. Soon we'll organize other webinars with the situation on Greece and Italy. And with this, I finish my presentation, and I give Liliana the floor to carry on with the webinar, to introduce the speakers and to moderate the talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Domingos. I will be very short introducing the webinars and objectives. So my name is Ljiljana Šerić. I am associate professor in computer science at University of Split in Croatia. I've been working with forest fire research for over 20 years, and I'm also part of Fire EU Risk project. Today, I gathered some experts in fire management in Croatia. Why Croatia? Croatia is a very small, relatively small, but very diverse country. And by looking at its geographical situation, you can assume that we have a really nice climate. We have very rich natural, cultural, historical heritage that we need to take care of. But we also have a lot of problems with fires, especially during the summer season. However, when you look at European statistics, you can see that a situation with damages caused by forest fire in situation is a little bit better than its surrounding country. So it made us wonder, is it just coincidence, pure luck, or is there something that is here coordinated better than other countries? So we gathered a really comprehensive list of speakers to help us understand what is done in Croatia regarding wildfires, and how do we approach to risk assessment, preparedness, preparation, preventive measures, and finally fighting with forest fires. So our first speaker is like I ordered them in some kind of order. So first we will say something about meteorological situation. Our first speaker is Tomislav Kozaric, who is experienced weather forecaster. Tomislav is working in Croatian Meteorological and Hydrological Service since 2007. Currently, he is head of Weather Analytics and Forecast Verification Division in the Weather Analysis and Forecasting Department. And one of his responsibilities is coordination of fire protection activities in the National Fire Protection Program. So, Tomislav, please, the floor is yours, and you can share your screen.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Ljiljana, for a nice presentation. Thank you, Professor Viegas, also for the introduction of the project. Let me first try to share my screen. I hope it will be easy. Let's see. Do you see it? What can you see it? Hello?
Yeah, excellent. We can see you, we can hear you, and
oh, the thumbs are up, so it seems it's okay. So let's start. Let me start with the known facts about wildfire risk assessment and it doesn't want to. Oh, okay, it works. I have to be on the right screen. So let me start with some mostly known facts about wildfires and meteorological risk of wildfires. So what we know in recent years and decades, wildfires are becoming more or less increasingly frequent threat to the environment and human communities. Large fires can represent serious crisis situation. If we just remember Split fire in 2017, it was very big fire, very dangerous to the city of Split. Weather is one of three most important factors for the occurrence and spread of wildfires. Other two are the orography and the fuels, of course. Regarding Croatia, wildfires are most frequent and severe at the Adriatic coast, especially in the summer during the tourist season. Adriatic has Mediterranean climate, so-called olive climate, with mild winters and hot and dry summers. However, due to climate change, weather conditions are becoming increasingly favorable for wildfire ignition and extreme behavior. That's why fire seasons are getting stronger and longer, and the fire danger is growing and spreading inland. In the next few slides, I'm going to say something about climatology of meteorological risk of wildfires in Croatia. We'll refer to the fire weather index. Here you can see two maps. These show special distribution of mean fire weather index of two most endangered months in Croatia. These are July and August, and they represent the peak of wildfire season. As clearly seen, the highest risk is in the northern Adriatic and in Dalmatia. You can see this highlighted with this rectangular. In August, also, risk is higher in the continental part. Do you see my mouse moving on the screen? Okay. So the highest fire weather index, according to climatology, is in the southern part of Dalmatia, particularly this southernmost part of Adriatic. If we take a look of two consecutive 30 years climatological periods, on the right side, you have the most recent one, and the period before is on left side of the screen. There is an evident increase in fire weather index, particularly on the sea side and in Dalmatia. However, also in the inland, in the continental part of the country, we have this very obvious increase. Hvar, for example, is one of the meteorological stations located in the Adriatic with the longest observation data series going back in the 19th century. You can see here the whole row or the whole data series of seasonal severity rating for Hvar. So even in the much longer time period, more than 100 years, there is a positive trend of wildfire danger in the Adriatic. In this figure, as I already said, is seasonal severity rating presented instead of the fire weather index. And the trend is pretty obvious when put on this data. Now I'm going to describe the role of weather forecast in the wildfire risk assessment as the main topic of my presentation. DHMZ, or Croatian Meteorological and Hydrological Service, is taking part in the National Fire Protection Program, which is coordinated by Croatian Firefighting Association. This association, in the continuation of this presentation, refer as HVZ. So our service, DHMZ activities, has numerous activities, and they are mainly aimed to assessing the meteorological risk of the occurrence and spread of wildfires. Short range, medium range, and long range assessment of meteorological risk of wildfires are based on weather forecast of the variables relevant to fire occurrence and spread. Of course, these are precipitation, wind, air temperature, and humidity. Sorry? Someone said something? No? Okay. Long-range assessment of the meteorological wildfire risk consists of seasonal forecast and monthly forecast. These forecasts are mainly based on the ECMWF forecast system. Maybe all of you know that ECMWF refers to European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasts, and these seasonal and monthly forecasts are used to assess possible start or the onset of the fire season in Croatia or in the Adriatic, and to assess its severity. Medium range assessment consists of weekly and half-weekly forecasts. Weekly forecasts are more or less general 7-day outlook of weather conditions, and the half-weekly forecast is a special forecast, 4-day forecast for a firefighting service. It consists of forecast of rain amount and likelihood, wind speed and direction, maximum temperature, and lightning potential. These are used or can be used for fire management planning functions on weekly scale. And we are coming to short range or daily forecasts. And these are primary and most important activity. At DHMZ, we calculate and disseminate Canadian Fire Weather Index. Fire Weather Index relates the state of fuels and weather conditions. We calculated it for 40 weather stations, 22 are in the Adriatic, and it's calculated once a day at 12 UTC, and prognostic one is calculated for tomorrow, next day at 12 UTC. Fire danger classes, both actual for current day and prognostic for tomorrow or next day, are calculated from Fire Weather Index components and disseminated daily to Croatian Firefighting Association as well. We'll see in the next slide, these fire danger classes are very low, low, moderate, high, very high, with numbers from 1 to 5, and they were defined or derived in 1980s. So on this slide, you can see this table of fire danger classes. It's here on the right-hand side. On the left side, we see scheme of structure of the fire weather index. Let's explain a little bit this fire weather index calculations. We have fire weather observations or observations of temperature, relative humidity, wind, and rain. Out of these observations, fuel moisture codes are calculated: fine fuel moisture code, DAF moisture code, and drought code. And from these fuel moisture codes, fire behavior indices are calculated. 3 of them: first, initial spread index, which also includes wind in the calculation, and buildup index, which is calculated from DAF moisture code and drought code. And if we combine initial spread index and buildup index, we get fire weather index as a final index. Fire danger classes, however, are derived from combining this fire weather index and the buildup index. And this table represents an old calibration of fire weather index, which was done in 1980s, and it's still in use, but nowadays shows some limitations, mostly regarding climate change. Except calculation and dissemination of values of fire weather index and its components and fire danger classes, we also visualize them. Here you can see map visualizations, which are done at our service. On the left side, you have visualization of the fire weather index. It's one day in September, at the late September at the end of it, so it's very low fire danger almost everywhere in Croatia. And this was one map visualization from July last year. So there was one big fire near Šibenik at that day, and we can see that the fire danger was very high in this area. So these are just examples of what we visualize. Also, there are visualizations of severity ratings, etc. In the short-range wildfire risk assessment belong also fire weather warnings on weather conditions that are particularly dangerous for extreme fire behavior and spread. These warnings have been developed to address limitations of poor spatial and time availability of fire danger data, as well as climate change influence on the distribution of fire danger values. I will say a little bit later about it. The criteria for issuing warnings are high and very high fire danger class, plus strong and long-lasting wind, strong turbulence given by TKA, and strong vertical instability given by Haynes index. You can see this criteria in the table. So if we overlap fire danger with criteria of wind speed, TKE, or Haynes index, you can get different levels of warnings. Data for wind turbulence and Haynes index are got from high resolution NVP model Aladdin. When criteria are fulfilled, then these weather warnings are issued and disseminated to HVZ in the form of the text document here on the left side and the graphical form on the right side of this slide. A part of DHNZ activities is making fire danger analysis and statistics. Analyses are done regularly for individual months in the hot part of the year, so from May to September, and for fire season as a whole, this is a period from June to August. Here you can see the analysis of last year's 2023 fire danger. Fire danger was rather mild in terms of anomalies. We can see that anomalies are mostly negative on the whole Adriatic. That means that the mean fire danger was lower than the seasonal average. So last year was rather okay, and no one can complain about it. Hardness, that cannot be said for the 2022 year before last year. That was, in comparison to 2022, pretty extreme, with large positive anomaly on the whole Adriatic, that fire danger being high or very high almost everywhere, particularly in the southern Adriatic and Dalmatia, and also near the coast as well. DHMZ has developed a special protected website, particularly for the needs of Croatian Firefighting Association. Here you can see how, for example, this simple website looks, and all forecasts and products that have been mentioned so far in the presentation are available on this dedicated website for HVZ, except the fire risk assessment forecasts. There are also data, all kind of data, automatic stations, conventional observations, radar data, and you have also the block with the model maps and model meteograms. Of course, here you can see the fire weather index, and here you can see example of the seasonal forecast. It looks like it has two parts for temperature and for precipitation in terms of anomalies according to the climate. What has also been said is that one of the activities of Croatian Meteorological Service is also participation in ERCC video conferences. We are obliged to do that according to the National Forest Protection Program. DHMZ
Mislav, we cannot hear you.
You are freezed.
Yeah, probably. It looks like he has some network problems. Yeah. Yeah.
Liliana, is Tomislav far from the end?
No, he is well, he's in different town than I am. Let's try to check if he is available. No, I'm trying to contact him on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no contact.
May I suggest if you want to give the floor to the second speaker, and then we can return to him.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably there is some kind of network connection. So we will have question and answers later after he returns to the meeting.
I forgot to inform all the attendants that now are more than 200, that if you have questions to the speakers, please write them in the question and answers box, and we'll try to reply them immediately after each speech or at the end, or if there is no time, we'll try to address them also directly to the attendants.
No.
In contact with Thomas? No.
No, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we don't have him. Okay, so I will introduce our next speakers. Actually, we have representatives of Croatian Forests. Croatian Forests is a leading commercial company for forest management in Croatia. It is organized as a three-tier company with directorate in Zagreb, 70 branches for forest administrations, and 169 forest farms.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tomislav, you're here.
I lost power in my PC. I don't know. It was some electricity blackout for a moment. It's just turned down. Did you proceed the floor to someone else, or can I, or did you wait for me?
No,
I'm sorry, I apologize.
I just started to introduce the next speaker. I believe you have maybe 1 or 2 slides.
Yes, I have
left.
just few slides. If you let me finish, I will be
Yeah.
happy.
Okay, please.
I
So please
appreciate.
share the screen.
Okay,
and
thank you.
then we'll start.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I really don't know.
Please.
These machines are not reliable anymore. Okay, we have to go to where we stopped. Okay, this is what I was talking about, a bit about these weekly reports of Emergency Reports Coordinate Center, Croatian firefighters also, and Croatian meteorologists, forecasters participate together with Portuguese, Spain, France, Italy, and Greece colleagues. Now I will say something about one project called Climate Forecast. Starting last year, Croatia is a partner country at Climate Forecast project, and DHMZ is a representative institution. The project Climate Forecast aims to develop toolbox for mitigating combined consequences of drought, heat wave, and fire weather through regionally tuned forecasts for Central European countries, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Austria, Slovenia, and Croatia. We are looking forward to see the results of this project and tools which will be developed, particularly those tools which will help in better wildfire risk assessment. The last but not least, DHMZ has also plans for future work. After detailed inspection of fire danger classes and frequencies of it, they show too many cases with very high class during fire season. That's why the need for revision or new calibration of fire danger table came up to the surface. This revision is going to introduce an additional fire danger class. We saw that we now have 5, which are pretty old, and the class 6 or extreme will be introduced. The classes can be calibrated with the new data of wildfires, so we are in the process of gathering of this necessary data for doing the calibration. DHMZ, of course, will also support Croatian Firefighting Association by providing georeferenced meteorological data for their platform. We are also providing education and so on. Everything with the concerning program of activities in fire protection we can do, or we are planning to do, or we can help with this. So that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for this break because of my computer. If there are some questions, I will happy to answer.
Thank you, Tomislav. This was a really informative presentation. It was so good that your computer needed to take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have several questions in the questions and answers section, but I will select only one because of the time frame.
Yes, please. Thank you.
So, in your opinion, does fire weather index accurately reflects the real risk in Croatia of fires? And do you use any other type of indices as a complement to fire weather index, such as hot dry weather index or some other?
Thank you for the question. It's a question that is in place because Canadian Fire Weather Index is calibrated on the Canadian vegetation. It's pine tree or Douglas fir, if I'm right. So our vegetation is not really combined of this kind of forest types, but we have mostly macchia and this pine, Alepezian pine, or how it's called in English, and there should be some calibration also of some detailed elements of the fire weather index in terms of these fuel types. but general knowledge is, or general idea is that it's not really necessary. That was told us from the colleagues from Canada. We can have our own our values that are no matter the vegetation is behind, we can get our values for Croatian country, for Croatian climate, and we can do this means and anomalies according to the values we generally have. So the exact need of calibrating the vegetation is not really necessary. The calibration could be done also by the having what you have, but comparing to the wildland fires, what was already done and what is now planned. I think the values we have are satisfactory. Croatian firefighting service says they are very satisfied with the fire weather index and they are using it. And for now, we don't have any other these, let's say, index calculations which can be supplement to the fire weather index, but there are lots of different indices on the web, and most of them are also free to use, open source, so it can be done.
And also some experimental indices.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
I know you at FSB also have some experimental fuel moisture indexes, which is, for example, good for fire ignition assessment.
Thank you very much. There are several more very interesting questions, but I will leave it for you to type the answers in the questions and answers section. So please, when you have time, type the answers to the rest of the questions. So we will proceed with the next speakers. As I said, Croatian Forests is a really big state-owned company in Croatia that manages forests of Croatia. But knowing that almost half of the area of Croatia is covered with forests and forest land, we know how important it is. So forestry experts have been managing the natural wealth and planned the maintenance of forests in order to have the sustainability and to preserve the natural balance and leave healthy forests for the future generations. Today we have two presenters representing the company. As we announced, we have Ana Jurčić-Musa, who is a spokesperson for the Croatian Forests, a PR manager of the Croatian Forests, who she will represent the company's mission and objectives. And also we have Mr. Krešimir Žagar, who is head of forestry department, who is an expert in forest management, and we are very happy that he managed to arrive today. We were afraid that he will be busy, so he will share his experience in this. So Krešimir to share the screen, and then Anna will start with the presentation, and Krešimir will jump in. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. I can also share the screen myself. We have the same presentation, in fact. Do you see it? Can you see the presentation?
No, not yet.
No?
No. Okay.
And now?
It's coming. Yes, but it's not in presentation mode.
Okay, maybe Krešimir, if you can share it, maybe you can just
put
share
it
it,
in.
and I will give an introduction.
Can you put it in presentation mode? Just start the slideshow.
Okay. Okay.
That button.
No, it's still.
Do you see it now?
No, we can still see the presentation like this.
Just
maybe,
the presentation. Yeah, sorry.
Start slideshow again.
You probably shared the window of the PowerPoint. Maybe.
Okay, I will pause sharing and maybe or stop sharing, and Croatia, if you can make it in the presentation mode, then we can do it together. Oh yes, great.
Yeah,
Good.
great.
It's okay.
Yes, yes.
Anna, you can start.
Okay, so as you have seen already in the presentation of Mr. Kozaric from the Meteorological Service, Croatia has a very funny shape, and it is almost, some compared it to a flying dragon. So it has a continental part, which are like wings, and the whole body, which is our long coast. So all of the parts are covered by different types of forest. And mostly endangered are those in the coastal part. So we are managing this forest according to our forest management plans. Each forest management plan is valid for 10 years, and then a new one is made. The total area of forest and forest land in Croatia amounts to some 2.8 million hectares, of which 2.4 or 90% is forest, and other is forest land that covers 266,000 hectares, or 10%, which is barren and without vegetation. Forests in the Republic of Croatia cover almost half of the continental part of the total land area. It's 44%. In terms of ownership, 73% of the total forest area is state-owned, so it is the ownership of Republic of Croatia, and 27% of the forests are owned by private forest owners. Okay. So state-owned company Hrvatske šume manages some 2 million hectares, or 97% of the state-owned area of the state-owned forest. And the remaining 73,000 hectares, or 3%, are used by other state legal entities like national parks, faculty of forestry, and similar. So we are a commercial company owned by the state. And we manage forest based on the law on forests and other positive regulations of the Republic of Croatia, like a law on nature protection, etc. Our organization is structured in 3 layers. We have a headquarters in Zagreb, which is a capital, and 17 regional forest administrations and 169 forest offices. So, yeah, okay. The legal basis, I have already mentioned some of the things, are the Forest Act, but this is what is relevant for the prevention and protection from forest fires. So we have a special law on protection from forest fires. Then we have an ordinance of forest fire protection, which is a national ordinance, and it was adopted by the Ministry of Interior Affairs. Then we have also our own ordinance on forest fire protections, which was adopted by Hrvatske šume, by Croatian state, Croatian forest. It is an internal ordinance, and it is coordinated with the national one. We also have a program of activities in the implementation of special fire protections measures that are of interest to the Republic of Croatia, which is an annual document which is each year adopted by the government of the Republic of Croatia for all participants. Hrvatske šume are only one of those participants who take part in this program. And also then, last but not least, we have this ordinance on the collection of data, content, and management of registers and conditions of use of data on forest fires. This was brought in by the Ministry of Agriculture, and in accordance with that ordinance, we have a digital register of forest fires, which we keep regularly updated in Hrvatske šume. So, as I have said, this is this dragon form of Croatia, and here you can see the continental part, which is mainly lowland and has very, very nice, beautiful oak forests, for example. Then we have this hilly and mountainous part, which is yellow in this picture. with the beach and fir forest, and then the orange part is our coast, where we have mostly Mediterranean forests. And now I will give a word to Mr. Krešimir Žagar, who is the director of the forestry sector of Hrvatske šume, and we are very happy that he was able to join us today. So, Krešimir, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Anna. I hope you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and thank also Liliana for opportunity to make this presentation about our forests. Anna gave you fun facts about Croatian forest. I will tell you something about prevention of forest fires in Croatian forests. We are speaking about Croatian forests, and firm is also called Croatian forest. So I will tell Croatian Forest Ltd. is our firm. As Anna said, it's firm which manage state forests in Croatia. Thank you, Anna. My English is not so good as Anna's, so if I have some problem, Anna will help me. In this table, we can see how many forest fires we had in last 10 years from 2014 to last year. Annually, we have average number of forest fires are 156. And the total burnt area average per year is about 11,000.6 hectares. It's a huge area for Croatian forest, mainly in Dalmatian coast and in hinterland. Totally, in last 10 years, we had 1,559 forest fires, and the total area, burnt area, was 115,853 hectares. Worst year in last 10 years was 2017. This year was had 329 forest fires, and total burnt area in this year was more than 485 square kilometers. It was a huge area, and in this year we had 4 forest fires which were bigger than 3,000 hectares. Our activities in Croatian forest, how to stop forest fires, are mostly fire prevention activities. We establish an observation and reporting service every year, consisting of our own employees. Approximately 500 forest guards are activated every year in observation and reporting service. About 320 employees we get temporary during the fire season. We also have contracts with volunteer fire departments. It costs for Croatia Forest, but we are very thankful to every firefighters who are involved in our observation and reporting service. We also design, construct, and maintain forest roads intended for fire protection, construction and maintenance of observation stations. We have 274 observation stations situated in Mediterranean part of Croatian forests in Dalmatia, Istria coast. We are also organizing and equipping intervention groups of forest workers. They are equipped for initial fire extinguishing. Also, we have forest guarding during whole year, but especially during spring and summer. About 102 Croatian guarders are activated in summer and spring. We also do some forest and silvicultural works for the purpose of increasing of resistance of forest to spreading of fire, like cutting branches and cutting trees around forest roads. We also all year, but mostly in forest fire season, advertise activities independently and in cooperation with other subjects such as Croatian firefighting community on TV spots, radio spots, billboards along our roads, warning signs, info boards, beach cabins, everywhere where people are and where they can see it. Anna told us we have a law, forest law, as general act. We have ordinances of national niveau and our internal, and we also have plan of activities every year. Here is plan of activities in the last year in Croatian Forest Ltd. We can see many numbers here. We constructed in last year 148 new kilometers of fire protection roads and maintained about 600 and we can see 82 kilometers of fire protection roads. Here are also costs of every other activity for fire protection, and totally we spent about more than 16 million euros last year for fire prevention. So average annually we built about 100 kilometers, but we saw last year it was 148 kilometers of new fire protection roads. Annually we maintain approximately 800 kilometers. Last year it was a little bit less, 682, if you remember. So we have 5,700 kilometers of fire protection roads, which have been built by Croatian forests, and they are spread in whole Croatia, in whole Croatian forest, but mostly in this Mediterranean area, which is more affected with forest fires. Here is some pictures of fire protection roads. They serve as access for firefighting vehicles, and also they can stop spreading of forest fires when they're there. Here is a picture of construction of forest roads. We can see it's karst area, stoned area. It's not easy to make roads there from this makia, such area. Here's a picture of one well-constructed forest road. It's had hard bases with stone, and it can be used not also for stop spreading fires and passing by vehicles, also for transport of logs if it's wood, quality forest with quality wood. There are also pictures, one from constructed and also finished forest road. So after some years where forest fires were very strong, the ordinance from 2014 stipulates that fire monitoring can be carried out not only with help of employees, with eyes, then also with video surveillance. After I mentioned already, after worst year with forest fires in Croatia, it's 2017, became more serious development of video surveillance of forest for the purpose of fire protection. So with cooperation, the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Mechanical Engineering and Shipbuilding in Split, who established and developed a software for early detection of fire, and with company, it's also a state company, Odašiljači I Veze, who won a job in a public tender for the establishment of video surveillance in the field. We installed cameras in Croatian coast, and it was new era, we can say, in fire prevention in Croatian forest. Croatian Forest Ltd were initiator and investor in the project, and the Croatian Fire Brigade is a user of the system as it receives the signal with cameras in its regional county centers. When we began, there were 4 county centers, and now we have 7 county centers. So this resulted in cooperation of foresters, firefighters, science and technical support, everything with, we can say, Croatian brain and knowledge. After 2017, I already said, it was decided to install video surveillance in forest in Dalmatia. First project started next year after 2017 in 2018 and lasted 4 years. And the second project started in 2022 and last till 2025. Also with cooperation with state-owned company Odašiljači I Veze and faculty in Split. Now we have 69 locations with 2 cameras on each location. So we installed 138 cameras. As I already said, now we have 7 active and 2 more planned firefighting centers, which are county centers of firefighters. Whole project was financed by Croatian Forest Ltd. And the application for EU funds is currently underway for 41 new locations in this year. We hope that after 2024, we will have 110 locations and 220 cameras in our land. System will be extended not only, it will be situated not only coastal part of Croatia, it will be extended on continental part, on areas which are considered that there is also risk from forest fires, as Karlovac County and Vinkovci, Vukovarsko-Srijemska County, where are richest and the most beautiful forests. The number of fires was reduced when we installed those cameras, and the system provided to be efficient. It is a baby. So we can see also our prevention campaign. As I said, it was on TV spots, radio spots, and signs about roads, beaches. Campaign was named "Recklessness is the First Spark." The aim is to get people to take care and to raise awareness, to awake conscience that everyone must be careful when visiting forests. When we look in the future, we know there have been fires in the past, but unfortunately there will be more in the future. We heard Mr. Kozaric, it's a result of climate change and temperature extremes. Conditions are created. It will be even more favorable for the occurrence of fires, and we can't stop it, but we can prevent it. Mediterranean area is particularly recognized as fire prone. We remember those maps. We can do to increase awareness of individuals about the dangers caused by fires, about the consequences they have on human lives, human property, and especially the environment. It's necessary for both us, residents and guests and tourists in Croatia, which are many in fire, in those periods which is most occupied by fires. In this sense, it's necessary to carry out numerous preventive activities to encourage citizens to behave responsibly in order to reduce the cases of unintentionally causing fires. We are dedicated to protect and preserve the forests, and this is our primary task in the management of the forest entrusted to us. So, thank you for your attention. Thank you, Anna, also for data of our company. Thank you, Ljiljana, for opportunity to share some facts about Croatian forests and fire prevention.
And thank you, Anna and Krešimir, for a very interesting presentation. We have several questions, but some of them are maybe not focused on this, so I will select on one that seems really in your area. What kind of challenges do you face in Croatia in fuel management, while you are also trying to conserve forests and biodiversity and habitat? How do you balance fuel management and preservation and sustainability? I think this is Yeah.
No,
Yes.
I try to understand the question.
Yeah.
Did you mean by fuel wood, like firewood?
Yes, fuel management, like reducing the fuels, cutting and pruning, while still preserving the biodiversity. What kind of challenges? What is the most challenging part? Is it accessibility or maybe the...
Resha, do you want to answer or?
I don't know how to answer this question. Challenges.
I think the key is in the good balance. When we are cleaning woods, we are only cleaning the lower branches, so the forest ecosystem is still living on and it is better protected. So the forest gets grows higher, and the lower part is better protected. So I hope that was I understood the question well.
Yeah. Well, I hope that there is so there is still opportunity to answer by typing the answers to the questions and answers form. So please,
we will discuss this question,
yes,
and we will try
please
to answer. It's not a problem.
Yeah, the rest of the questions will be answered during the presentation in the future. Thank you very much. I would like to introduce our next speaker. So now we are coming to the operational firefighting, because next speaker is Mr. Joško Grancic. He is a professional firefighter. He has a degree in fire protection engineering and works in the Croatian Fire Association, and he is the vice commander vice chief fire commander for the coastal area, which is the most endangered area. His job is directing and coordinating the actions of firefighting organizations, firefighting units on the coast, monitoring the intervention readiness of firefighting units and firefighters, managing and coordinating operational forces in large and complex interventions. He is also instructor for training firefighters for wildfires, and he will be really the right person to answer several questions I can see in the questions and answers. But first, I would like to call him to make his presentations. So Joško, the floor is yours. Please share your screen.
Thank you, Liliana, for introducing me. I'm trying to share my presentation. Do I did it successful?
Yes, we can see the PowerPoint, but it's not in presentation mode.
Is it okay now?
Not yet. No, it's not in presentation mode. If you can share only the screen where you have the.
But in my
computer. Yeah, please.
Okay. I try again.
No, it's still not in presentation mode. Yes, it's got good.
Thank you. Thank you, Liliana, again. Dear colleagues, dear participants, today I will not speak about the whole firefighting system in Croatia. I will speak about our additional activities, what we do in preparation and during the fire season regarding wildfires. As colleagues said before, Croatian government every year adopts a program of activities of implementation special measures of the fire protection important for the Republic of Croatia. And that program prescribes obligations of each subject. And that program involves more than 50 stakeholders, different ministries, different state bodies, different public institutions, public companies, inspections, Croatian Forest, Croatian Meteorological and Hydrometeorological Service, and etc. And Croatian Firefighting Association is responsible for coordination between all stakeholders and to report Croatian government about activities. Croatian firefighting systems is, I can say, unique in Europe because we are not part of some ministry. We are not part of some directorate. Croatian Firefighting Association is a state body, and the chief firefighting commander is on a political level, is a state secretary. And for his work, he is responsible directly to the prime minister and to the Croatian government. Now we are in the phase of planning this season. And before the start of the fire season, we training firefighters for wildfires. We have 3 different programs. The most common we conduct is program for extinguishing wildfires and helicopter transport. That program is for professional and for volunteer firefighters. Also, we do this program for German colleagues. German firefighters from Baden-Württemberg were on training in Croatia in 2023, 2022, and they are coming this year again. Also, we have aircraft guidance training program in wildfires. It's program for fire commanders, for incident commanders, and for fire officers who communicate with aerial forces in the field. And also we have a helicopter rescue training program in wildfires, but it's only for some special firefighting units. According to our program, during the summer, we deployed firefighters from the continental part to the coastal part of Croatia, because coastal part of Croatia is Mediterranean part and the most effective with wildfires. This is the number of dislocation of firefighters from the continental for the last year. We had about 80 firefighters with about 20 vehicles from the continental part on the 17 location along the coast in one shift, and we changed them 15 days. Each shift was 15 days. Also, we have up to 200 soldiers in the readiness for rapid intervention, and they are part of the Ministry of Defense, and we have strong collaboration with them. And during the fire season, we additionally employ about 1,000 seasonal firefighters on the coastal part of Croatia. Croatian Armed Force participating with firefighting purposely organized forces, and there are 2 assets what are we very proud on them: water bombers, Canaders, and air tractors, and they are based in Zadar. Here in Divulje, now I'm speaking from Divulje near Split, we have 1 transport helicopter, and during the season 1 firefighting army platoon. We have unmanned aerial vehicle for supervising terrain, and near in Split we have several boats for the transport firefighters from the coast to the islands. During the fire season, we deployed our National Firefighting Command and Coordination Center from Zagreb to Divulje near Split, and here we established 1 joint headquarters from the June to September. And in that headquarters, there are representatives of Croatian Firefighting Association, Croatian Armed Force, Police, Civil Protection Directorate. Daily is engaged 10 to 12 members of that of these associations. We have real-time operational function of collecting, processing, and distributing information. We are making decision in the current and short time, and also here we exchange information with all stakeholders. We do some preventive activities based on previous observations. We do more frequent reconnaissance through ground fire patrols. We monitoring with unmanned aerial vehicles with drones. We prefer military drone. We have a large number of reconnaissance of firefighting aircraft of the Croatian Armed Force, and monitoring by an increasing number of surveillance cameras, which can be coordinated and monitored from one place. And here in Divulje, we can see all cameras. That real-time monitoring is very useful for us. In 2022, we have 98 cameras. In 2023, that number increased in 148 cameras. And colleague from Croatian Forests said that that number will increase in the next year. That cameras help us a lot. This is a short live stream from the one camera. We can monitoring what is happening in the field. It helps us to make a decision. Do we need additional forces on this fire? Can we deploy aircraft to another fire, and etc. And it's very, very useful tool. Also, during the summer, when is fire weather index very high, we send firefighting aircraft to reconnaissance. We have several routes on the south part of Croatia and 2 routes on the north part of Croatia, and aircraft is flying via route, and if a pilot see any fire, he alarm us. We call ground firefighters, and also he can do initial attack. Also, we pilot have opportunity to taking photo from the area from aircraft, and when he took that photo, we received in our headquarters immediately that photos. Also, we have a live screen from the aircraft. This is camera which is put into the cabin of Canadair. This was the biggest fire in 2022 near Šibenik. And you can see how it looks like through the cabin of Canadair. Next slide. Also, we use, as I said, unmanned aerial vehicle. This is military drone. It is used by some military tasks. We use it's for the firefighting, for the reconnaissance. It's a good tool because it can fly on the high altitude, and we can supervising whole terrain during the wildfire. He can fly at the same time when Canadair and the tractors are engaged. Also, it's used by supervising territorial sea. This is a short example how we engage our forces. If fires somewhere started, then the local firefighters called that county operational center, engage local firefighters, and they fight with the fire, as I can say, alone. Here in Divulje, we follow that, but they do it alone. If they need additional support, if they need aerial assets, if they need ground firefighters from the neighborhood counties, then we are engaging in that fire. Our tactic is that we, whenever is possible, do combine attack to the fire with ground forces, but whenever is possible with aerial support. And our experience that's the best way fighting with wildfires. Now I will show you just short the biggest fire in the last fire season. First one was near Šibenik, Grebaštica, 600 hectares, 205 fighters, 5 Canadairs, 3 tractors. As you can see, several cars burnt, few houses were damaged, but no one was seriously injured, only 5 fighters, some slightly injured. Second fire near Dubrovnik from the last year, also 135 fighters, assistance from Split, Dalmatia, Zadar County, 3 Canaders, 1 air tractor helped on this fire. And the last big fire last year in our neighborhood near Trogir and Čiovo, more than 500 hectares, also 3 Canaders, 4 air tractors were engaged on this fire. This is a short overview of fire data in the last year in comparison between 2022 and 2023. As you can see, in 2023 we had decrease of more than 60% of number of wildfires, and burnt area was more than 19% less than in 2022. If we see on this diagram, this is a situation with the number of fires and burnt area in last 13 years. We can say that almost every 5 to 6 years we had a difficult season. Meanwhile, the situation was average. 2023 was less than average. Also, I would like to mention that Croatia is the part of the European RESC-EU mechanism, and we participate with 2 Canaders. And almost every year we provide international assistance to another countries. In 2023, we sent our Canader 3 times in Greece. In 2022, we helped Republic of Slovenia and Bosnia and Herzegovina more times with Canaders, with helicopter, with ground forces. In 2021, we also helped to Turkey, Greece, and Bosnia and Herzegovina several times. Our lessons learned are: the last fire season was one of the most successful in the last 15 years. We have significant decrease in the number of fires and burnt area. Firefighting system performed all activities efficiently. We attack each fire with all available forces. 3 large fires we had bigger than 500 hectares. Climate change is all around us and we need to adapt to it. We have to continue with the construction and maintenance of fire roads. We have to continue with installation of the video surveillance system, continue with equipping and training firefighters. We have to strengthening prevention measures at all levels and continue meetings and cooperation with stakeholders at all levels, national and international. And thank you for your attention. I hope that I don't break timeline. Ljiljana.
Thank you very much. This was really interesting presentation, and I didn't even notice how the time flies when you were talking. Regarding, we have several questions, and I would really like to maybe just pick one so we can be finished on time. Can you tell us, in Croatia, do we use only the sweet water when we have fire near the sea in the coastal area, or we also? Yeah, I know the answer, but I think that you will answer that better. Do we use also water from the sea because it is bigger?
Well, it depends. It depends which water is nearest to the fire. We used seawater, and also we used sweet water from several lakes what we have in inland of the coastal part of Croatia.
Yeah, for the aerial vehicles.
Yes, it's for the aerial means. Ground firefighters use only sweet waters.
And sweet waters, no,
sweet
like
waters, yes. And our aerial means used foam with water to be more efficient.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'll get back to you later. Now I would like to give floor to our second speaker from Croatian Firefighting Association and also our second Tomislav, Tomislav Blažević, who is a geographical information system expert in Croatian Firefighting Association. And as long as I know him, he has been in some kind of civil protection working in civil protection, only changing different authorities. And he's also author of mostly used geographical information systems in all kind of civil protection activities. So Tomislav, if you can please share your screen, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Liliana. Just a second, please. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, great, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Hello to everybody. As Liliana said, I'm mainly GIS expert, but I work with all of the Croatian Firefighting Association systems and applications. And during the summer season, from June to September, I work in the National Command and Coordination Center in Divulje that Joško mentioned as analyst. So I'm a developer and analyst and end user of the applications that we are using. So I will try to explain you how we use applications and what applications we are using at the national level command and coordination center, which I think that would be the most interesting for you. I have only 39 slides, so Liliana, if I exceed time, just cut me. So, okay, we are using many applications, but I would only introduce you with 4 applications that are Vatronet, that is UVI, our Croatian Firefighting Association GIS, and ZEOS, which is GIS system from Ministry of Interior. And now I will briefly explain each of them. So Vatronet is our central database about organizations, people, vehicles, equipment, education, contest, and everything about the firefighters and equipment they are using. And all organizations, professional or volunteer, and on all levels are obligated to fill and maintain the database. So fire brigades maintain the database about their firefighters, vehicles, equipment, and they are obligated to maintain it and keep it up to date. And on national level, we can then search and we can see all the data on all levels. It's an in-house solution, and it's produced and developed by Croatian Firefighting Association from the scratch. So we have a developer that is developing application, and it's connected with our other system via web services. And it's our core data for statistic and analysis about the capacities, and we use it in a risk calculation about the resilience and the capacity on certain area. This is just how it looks like. It's very, very basic. As you know, firefighters like to keep it simple, so the application is simple as well. It's in Croatian, so this is just I don't know. This slide shows the equipment. No, it's pardon, it's vehicles, and this one is about the personal data about the firefighters, and this one is about searching the database, and that's mainly the alphanumeric database of the organizations and equipment. Now we go to the next level, that is UVI. That is a central intervention database, which closely cooperates with the previous application Vatronet, because the intervention database is filled with the data from the Vatronet about the organization, about the people, about the vehicles, about the equipment. So in our UVI database and not only database, it's web application. We draw data from the Vatronet about which organization have how many vehicles, what vehicles, when vehicle went on intervention, when it's go back, which personnel used which vehicle to go to the intervention. So the UVI is, I would say, the core system of firefighting system and interventions that are that are done by the system. In its customized solution according to the Croatian firefighting system needs, and its concept that is and solution that is developed by the firefighter. But because it's huge application, we had to outsource the development to the private company. But the idea and the projects are mainly done by the firefighters. It's also obligated for all fire brigades on all levels, and the national level, especially that command and coordination center in Divulje during summer. We are closely watching what's going on in UVI, and for the national level forces, for the planes, for the vehicles and firefighters that are employees of the national level. That command center is responsible for filling UVI database with the data. So the UVI has many modules. It has dispatching functions, alerting, intervention management, reporting, phone books, and many more modules. And not all organizations are capable to and not approved to have all the modules, but on a national level we have all modules, and so we can have an overview of the situation on a whole country. It's closely connected with Vatronet because it's using data from Vatronet, and it's source of information for our GIS systems, because everything that is going on in UVI is presented on our other GIS systems. These are just a few slides showing the graphical interface of the UVI. Here you can see the dispatching and the emergency call graphical interface. This is determining the location of the intervention. This is alerting of the firefighters through the SMS and through the voice calling. This is just management of the vehicles and the firefighters on the intervention. This is just the chronology of the intervention. This is the powerful statistics tools where we can extract all the data regarding with all the filters that we that we have, all the data that we have inside the UVI. And then we have a next level. It's a GIS. Now the next two are GIS based. First one is Croatian Firefighting Association with the acronym HVZ. Our own GIS. It's a web-based application. Platform is based on GIS cloud software, which is Croatian company, but it's a worldwide company. In that system, we can track more than 1,100 vehicles, and it has a limited analysis capabilities because it's a cloud-based and web-based software. But we use QGIS as open source for the data analysis, and for the data publishing we use our GIS cloud software. We are able to gather field data through the MDC. It's a native mobile app that is closely connected with our GIS, and there is a customized application based on the data gathered from UMBI. So in every moment we have a map with locations where we have intervention, and when you click the symbol, then you get information about what is going on over there, and it is publicly accessed. Just a moment. Yeah, a few slides showing the graphical interface of HVZ GIS system. So these are professional fire brigades in Croatia. These are and the data are from the first database, the Vatronet. This is capabilities of the fire brigades in terms of what kind of specialized vehicles they are having, and it's also coming from the Vatronet. This is the specialized equipment also coming from the Vatronet. This is the location of the actual intervention, which are the data coming from the second application that I told you, the UV. These are data about the 10-minute coverage of the professional fire brigades. This is not done by the web-based application, but it's produced in a QGIS, and then it is published with our GIS solution. These are locations of the cameras that you previously heard from Croatian Forest, with the status of the camera, and the orange one means the camera is manually operated, the green one is automatically operated, and the red one is when we have an alarm that is fire detected on the camera. And this is the vehicle tracking of more than 1,100 vehicles. And this is the just example from the QGIS, which is desktop application that we are using for the spatial analysis. And here is again 10-minute coverage with the number of households and number of persons living in each one in each this red rectangle, so we can calculate in each moment how many persons and how households are endangered and covered by the 10-minute coverage. So the next one is ZEOS. It is a GIS system as well, but not maintained by Croatian Firefighting Association, but Ministry of Interior. And the Croatian Firefighting Association is a power user of ZEOS. It's a huge spatial database, and it is even disaster recovery of national spatial data. It's based on ArcGIS platform, not GIS Cloud like Croatian Firefighting Association GIS, and it's connected with many stakeholders in order to have real-time data, and it's connected with Croatian Firefighting Association GIS as well. So everything is connected, and it's very powerful analytic capabilities. Based on ArcGIS for desktop platform. It's web-based application, but it's primarily used as a spatial-based decision support system in Divulje National Command and Coordination Center. So just a few slides. You heard from my colleague Tomislav about the fire weather index. We use it extensively in National Command and Coordination Center, because every day we are planning regarding the data from fire weather index. We use initial spread index as well. We use initial build-up index as well, and then every day we plan what route we are going to make reconnaissance based on a data about the fire weather index. This is the Aladdin forecast shown on a map. We can monitor real-time data about the level of water on a river, and many real-time data, but this is just only to show you a few. We are capable to track aircraft, all lower traffic over the Croatia, and we can we have two layers. One is about firefighting planes. Another one is about the rest of the planes. So how we work in a National Command and Control Center? We mainly are watching cameras and data from the UV database. When we see that we are having in UV new intervention that is forest fire type, then we engage. And we are looking on the status of the camera, and when we see that the camera changed the status and it's in a manual status, then it's trigger for us to take a look what is going on there. And then if we see something like this, then we are starting to plan and suggest to maybe to the lower level what to do if they are not engaging properly. The next step, when we see that something is going on, the next step is determining where it's going on and what is endangered over there in terms of the people, households, infrastructure, and I don't know, vegetation. The next one is taking a look where do we have forces, aerial or land forces. Then we try to estimate how long does it take for the aircraft to get to the location. And you can see here we are estimating 12.5 minutes for Canadair 888 to come to the fire, and then we can then we trigger the fire propagation algorithm to get the situation in next 3 hours. And based on the simulation, then we try to optimize the forces. And we see what is endangered here. We can see the real-time status of the electrical lines, and Canadair can distinguish fire only when the power lines are down. And on the right part of the picture, you can see the purple X. That means that power line is not under voltage, and the planes can distinguish on that area. And we have the location in last 10 years of all the fires that are let's say the bigger one, and then we have it through the application, and we can spatially and alphanumerically filter it and make analysis. And we use Stribor, which you already heard from the Croatian forest. It's a video monitoring and surveillance network. And I showed you on the previous slides how we use that data, and it's very, very valuable data for us, as mainly it triggers us to look on the location where something is going on, and when we see the picture, from the picture we mainly can determine how big problem is and will be. And in the end, the biggest challenge for us is to make different applications to interoperate and to share data. And we, as we are having many applications, it's kind of it's difficult to monitor all the applications. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to canalize all spatial data in one application in order to have the common operational picture and be able to make decisions very fast. If we are having many applications, then we are having the problem switching from one to another. And for example, in the GIS applications that I showed you previously, we are having hundreds of layers that we are switching when we need them. And what is I would say good is that we are using the spatial component of the data, and we are mainly looking on the maps, and we are looking on a weather forecast on a map. We are looking everything. We are looking on a map and trying to put all the interventions on a map and try to plan using a map. And we are doing it for the last few years. I think that we are very good at it, although on operational level, on command level, I think that these spatial applications are not used like on a national level, but on national level we are using it very much. So that would be it. I'm ready for questions.
Thank you, Tomislav, very much. It was really good presentation, and I think that if it is judged by the comments and questions, it was a very interesting presentation. I will pick only one question, and I will ask you to answer the rest of that with typing in the Q&A section. I picked one question that was actually mentioned before, but I thought, being a fire analyst, you will be the best for answering that. Usually you have burned areas, number of fires as a statistics. But since you have different information in databases, is there any effort to make the assessment of fire damages like adding the destroyed structures, the other like losses, analyzing other losses besides only using burned areas as a statistics of fire season or fire intervention.
Firefighters would tell you that the firefighters are not for the estimating of the losses of the I don't know, of the money, or it's not up to firefighters, because in Croatia, Ministry of Interior is obligated for the for that part of the job. Firefighters are only operators who distinguish fire, and then it stops for the firefighters. We are not for the for that investigation and analysis. If I answered you, I don't know.
But are there any efforts to do that, because you are the one who has the field data as first responders?
No, we always provide data to the other institutions and organizations who need our data. I explained you through the UVI. We have detailed information about how many personnel, how many vehicles, when, where, and everything else. But we are not. We are not for the calculating of the losses. So I think that answer is no. We are not trying to calculate at the moment.
Yeah, okay, but there certainly are some efforts, because I personally use some of your data for this kind of analysis, and there are other researchers that also do that, but I don't think that in practice it's not still in operational use. Thank you very much. There are other questions, and we will have a short discussion in the end, so please stay tuned. And finally, the last presentation, actually, but not the least, and I can see so many questions regarding the video surveillance system. So I intentionally skipped those questions, because the last presentation will mostly focus on that part. The next speaker is actually my colleague, Damir Krstinic, professor at University of Split in computer science, artificial intelligence, and one of the authors of the intelligent video surveillance systems that is used, and other systems that are also presented here. So I would like to ask you, Damir, to please share your screen, and floor is yours.
Thank you, Liliana. Hello to everyone. I just have to share my screen. Yes, this is one. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. So I will present Wildfire video monitoring and surveillance network in Croatia. You heard something about that already. It was mentioned several times. And this is a system which is developed for Croatian forest, and it's operational since 2018. However, work on this system is started in 2003 after devastating fire on Distant Hvar.
Damir, sorry, please, there is some problems because only a part of your presentation is shown on the screen.
Sorry, I will try to start it again. I don't know, just a minute. Can you see presentation now?
No, it's still only partially. If you can unshare it and then try to share.
Okay. I will new share. Just I have to start presentation.
Start the presenting mode and then share the
I will. So. Is it now okay? Can you see full
Yeah.
window? Everything.
Yes,
Okay.
great.
So I just have to put it on this screen. Okay. So this network, surveillance network, was already mentioned, and work on this system started in 2003 after devastating fire on Nissan Dohar. I was actually a firefighter, voluntary firefighter at that time, and I saw that fire from close and many other fires. And we asked ourselves, can we assure mean of early wildfire detection and provide the firefighters with a tool to more efficient response? And all results or techniques or development was discussed with the firefighters from the very beginning. So I don't have to tell anything about motivation, it's obvious, but I will tell you for a few words about Croatian specificities and our experiences. We have a lot of small, mid-sized, bigger settlements like small towns, big towns, villages that are scattered around, that they are usually surrounded by dense pine forest. And moreover, we have separated tourist settlements like auto camps, like picnic areas, like people hiking through the woods, through the mountains, forests. And also we have, which is another consequence of the tourism, significant population growth in the summer months. So it could be 10 to 15 times in some regions or even more. So all of this represent additional challenge, of course, but it can also represent advantage if you take a different point of view. So we can consider the entire coastal area of Croatia, practically wildland urban interface. However, there is a good side of this, that there is very high probability that anytime, anywhere where there is a fire outbreak, someone will be near, someone will be close to that point, and someone will report a fire in the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes. So we actually got information from firefighters at the beginning of this development, maybe some 20 years ago, that almost all fires are reported in the first 8 minutes. So based on this information, we defined some requests for wildfire monitoring, and we defined early detection as detection in the first few minutes, up to 5 minutes. And another need that was pointed out by firefighters, that beside early detection, they really need video presence in the case of their event. In the beginning of the fire, they need a mean to confirm an incident, because it's very easy to misconfuse smoke and fire with some other phenomena, like, I don't know, dust in the air as a result of human activity or some other natural phenomena. And they need a means to precisely locate, as precisely as possible, locate the incident location, because sometimes it's hard even for experienced observer to precisely locate, is this beside first hill or beside that second hill, so on. So they told us that they need video presence and the mean to zoom on the incident and to locate this incident and confirm an incident. So as a result, this is a system that is operational since 2018. However, there were several installations, one camera here, 2 cameras there before that. And after devastating fire in 2017 in Split area, we started monitoring and surveillance network. So this is a glimpse of the system, the interface of the system, and I will go through some main functionalities of the system and try to explain how it is used and what are the benefits of the system. So, as I said earlier, main functionality, or at least functionality around how the system is built, is automatic wildfire detection based on video cameras. However, there are other functionalities like fire risk assessment, like simulation of fire spread based on real-time data or on manually entered data like wind direction, wind speed, humidity, and so on. And the important thing for the firefighters is video presence and remote management of the intervention in the beginning phase and in the case of developed fire. And one thing to note is that you don't need any specialized hardware to access this system. You don't need server under your desk, because this is cloud-based solution. And we have 7, as I remember, control centers and command center in Divulje, which has access to video walls, to cameras, to everything. However, anyone with appropriate credentials, like, I don't know, some field commander or some higher level commander, or maybe someone in the Ministry of, I don't know, Defense or Ministry of Agriculture, can have access and has access to this system if it has appropriate credentials, it can access system using almost any hardware. You can access system by your mobile phone, by a computer, laptop, anything, because this is a web-based system, and all the tools are web-based. So, as I said, we have to detect fire in the first few minutes. Expected detection distance is up to 10 kilometers. It may be more, but it depends on atmospheric conditions and everything. We have to deal with images of very low quality. It is not due to low quality cameras. We have high quality cameras. However, those cameras are working in a very harsh environment during whole year, 24 hours a day. And we have degradations of image quality like camera shaking as a result of wind, dust in the air, dirt on the lenses, silent effects, and so on. And as we monitor large territory, smoke in this phase, in the first few minutes after the ignition, occupies a very, very small partition of an image. So I'll just show you two examples of what we are dealing with. These are two examples of real incidents. There is a smoke on both of these images. However, I guess you cannot see on neither one. Neither can I, and neither can the system. If this is the kind of image we are dealing with, we are trying to detect anything that is possible to detect. However, if we didn't detect, like situation, this upper one image, we have detection, I think, in a minute or two after this, in this down image. However, here it is impossible because smoke is somewhere here in the middle of the image. And however, if someone reports fire, operator can zoom on the approximate location and it will easily confirm that it is a real fire incident and not a false alarm. Typical situation looks like this. So this is again one hard situation. However, system detects smoke. You can see a red rectangle somewhere in the middle of the image. And the typical operation, typical action of the operator is to stop the camera, to stop the automatic mode and zoom. We have cameras that are to support up to 30 times optical zoom. Can zoom on this is a real incident, and that it can be seen that this is real forest fire, alarm was raised, and the reaction is started. Or it can discard an alarm if, for example, not like this. This is real alarm, but in some situations we discard alarm and no reaction will be started. I will just take a quick detour from the main topic, because there is one question which usually arises at this point, and this is: can cameras in infrared range increase detection accuracy and efficiency? We also ask ourselves this question at the very beginning of this development, and to be honest, at the beginning it was too expensive for us to get high quality infrared camera. However, at some point we started to play with cameras. This is one of the cameras we had and we experimented with. And these are two examples of images taken from, this is dual head camera. As you can see, it has visible spectra and infrared spectra, thermal imaging. And these are two examples of real fires taken by this camera. On the left side, you can see developed fire in the visible spectra, and you can see heat source and the surrounding area. Obviously, the whole hillside is burning with some intensity. However, on the right-hand side, you can see smoke, but you can see no visible sign, no signs in infrared spectra and thermal imaging. What is the problem? If you observe this left image more carefully, you can see that you even can see hill outline here as a hotter area than background. So this means that you don't see smoke. Smoke is blurring. Hill outline it cannot be seen in visible spectra because you cannot see smoke in thermal imaging. Unfortunately, smoke is not hot enough to be distinguishable from the surrounding hot air. And in this case, where you have fire behind this first hill, there are no signs of smoke or fire in thermal imaging. So thermal imaging can be used to improve accuracy, however, not if you don't have direct visibility. And Dalmatia coast and Croatian coast as a whole is very rugged terrain, very seized relief, and we have hills and islands, and we basically have Velebit Mountain and Bioko Mountain that rises up to 1,000 meters right from the sea. And for a great part of Croatian coast, thermal imaging is not so good and cannot be applicable, so we are stuck with visual spectrum, which is unfortunately harder, but we can see smoke and we can detect smoke. After the alarm is raised and the smoke is confirmed, fire is confirmed, operator just has to click on the image and the exact location of the incident will be shown on the map. How is this possible? Basically we know exact location of each pixel in this image, and because our system is connected with GIS system, and we have cameras that are calibrated, and we know a lot more than just location, a lot more information about each pixel in the image. We actually know how each pixel is distant. For example, this here is 2,600, 700 meters from the camera. We know territory, outline, and so on. And these are all information that are used in the system and that can be provided to operators and firefighters, and they provide valuable information for the intervention. And as a result, operator can just click on the image and location of fire is provided. So next step is usually starting a simulation, because when you exact location, you can start simulation with a single click. Metadata is collected from DHMZ servers, meteorological servers, in real time, and simulation is started based on this real-time data, wind speed, wind direction, so on. And probable fire spread for next 3 hours, this is parameter that could be changed, but I think 3 hours is default settings. Probable expected fire spread for next 3 hours is shown. What you can see is a visual field of the camera. You can see 2.5 kilometers of camera, 5 kilometers of camera, and 7.5 kilometers from camera, and you can see expected fire spread in next 3 hours. This functionality can also be used with manual parameters, so you don't have to start with real-time parameters. You can manually enter with speed, with direction, and so on. And this functionality is usually used to prepare for some events. For example, if the fire is started here in these conditions, what will be expected fire spread and so on. And this functionality is usually used to prepare for some possible outcomes, to prepare a season, to train firefighters and so on. So this is a typical operation of the operator. It sees a fire, confirms an alarm. Alarm is shown on the map. This one is actually maybe some 12 kilometers from camera, this here situation. And the fire spread for the next 3 hours is shown, if operator starts fire simulation. And operator can zoom on this map, roads will be shown, the terrain will be shown. And this is also very valuable information for guiding intervention, and more efficient, and what is even more important, more safe way for the firefighters and for the general community. So currently we have, I saw 2 different numbers today, and my third, I saw 65 locations, then 75, I think, and I'm dealing with 79 locations. I took a look yesterday at the list of locations, and I manually counted 79 locations. So, but it is not so important. For this season, 40 or 41 locations, new locations prepared. So we are covering great part of coastal area. Most of monitoring locations are located in coastal counties of Croatia and islands, which are of course most endangered by forest fires. However, due to climate changes, we have several locations in continental part of Croatia, because this part is becoming more and more vulnerable to forest fire. We have 7 monitoring supervisory operational centers and command center in Divulje. However, as I said already, anyone with appropriate credentials can access the system and use system functionality. So, and currently some locations are prepared or negotiated to be installed outside of Croatia. There is just one more thing to note. This is a command center in professional firefighting brigade in Split. You can see video wall, you can see operator station, so on. But just one thing to note is what are plans to future research and what is additional value of this system. We have some 80 locations now in Croatia, and we collect data from the real fire incidents. We can precisely position each incident in time and space, because we know not only the position of camera, we know position of each pixel in the image, we know exact time of each incident, we know meteorological data and so on, and we are planning to use this database. We are now collecting that database to improve functionalities of the system, but also to develop new functionalities, integrate with other systems and so on. So I will conclude with this, and I'm open for questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Damir, for this interesting presentation and very informative. I will use one question. There are several questions posted here, but I will select one regarding. I'm trying to find it regarding the distance of the detection. How far can this system detect fire, and what are the limitations?
Limitation is visibility. You saw, I will go back, you saw image with which looks directly towards the sun, and there is a fire in this image. Do you see image now? And there is a fire in this image. However, there is no system which could spot fire here. So it may be maybe 200 meters from camera, we cannot spot. Maybe 200 will, but 1 kilometer, no. Farther, as I remember, we have detection 35 kilometers from the camera, but this is ideal conditions, clear air and everything. So expected detection distance is up to 10 kilometers, 7 to 10 kilometers. It all depends on condition of atmosphere, on maybe fog. If you have fog, sometimes we have fog, we cannot see 2 meters from camera. So expected detection distance is 1 meter from camera. But in normal conditions, we are detecting fire 7 to 15 kilometers from the camera.
Thank you. And do you use some purpose-built cameras or market available cameras?
No. We use high-quality market available cameras.
Yeah.
We want to build a system which is not dependent on any specific hardware. It can work with. Okay, we have some requests for cameras, but it can work with any camera that satisfies our requests.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. With this, I will conclude this presentation. As we agreed that there is still some time for a short discussion, maybe Domingos, if you would like to say a few words to this.
No, I'd like to say some concluding words, but please carry on with the discussion, Liliana.
Okay, there is one question that actually I noted about that is frequently asked about prescribed burning. That is something that lots of countries are introducing in fuel management as a part of fire prevention. And as I'm aware of, the legislation in Croatia is not regulated regarding prescribed burning. And maybe if anybody would be more like competent to address these questions. Can we expect it to change? Are there some particular reasons why that is so?
You are asking to Krasimir, perhaps, no?
Maybe Krasimir or Joško could answer that. Yeah.
Yes, I can say that forest law, General Act on Forest Law, forbid open fire in open places. So it's not possible to make controlled fire or prescribed burning in Croatia because of legislative. We know about controlling fire in Portugal, in Spain, and other countries. We are interested in it, but we have to change legislative first.
Sorry. Yes. If I can only add, although it is forbidden by the forest law, a lot of agricultural workers burn their weeds or rests from agricultural works, and it usually ends in a forest fire. So it is kindly of a gray zone.
I may ask if fire is used in operations as a suppression tool?
Josko, maybe this is the question as far for you.
Firefighters.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, during the wildfires, sometimes we use backfire or tactical fire for the extinguishing wildfire. But we use that usually far away from the houses and usually on unreachable terrain. That tactical fire help us to stop or cut the fire line.
Thank you. And another thing that for me it looks unanswered here. What happened after 2017? Because we had like some kind of peak of burnt areas and damages in 2017, and after that the numbers show that the situation has significantly improved. Was it because of some like stagnation in climate changes, or was it because of the measures that were taken? Maybe Tomislav can address the meteorological situation after 2017, and maybe Josko and Tomislav can comment and on the response part.
Okay, after 2017, we established our joint headquarters here in Divulje. And one great thing is that now when fire starts, when firefighters from the terrain ask for additional support, here in headquarters, where are representatives of firefighters of Ministry of Defense, we analyze situation and in a very short time make decision to send aerial forces. And I think it's a good thing also now we try to attack each fire with all available forces on that terrain. It's better to do, as I said, massive attack in the beginning and stop the fire than to fire extinguish and be a great fire. And also we are working with strong collaboration between all stakeholders from the program of activities. We have very often meetings with all stakeholders, make plans. Croatian Forest made fire roads, install new cameras. We received fire weather index daily, but also we received from the Croatian Meteorological and Meteorological Service several times on day weather forecast. We received weather forecast for the macro location where is the fire. So we have, as I can say, more quality information now than 7 or 8 years ago. Thank you. Maybe Tomislav.
Yes, I can agree with you that the new system after the 2017 it's all about it. It's more than the weather is going better. The system is working very nice. You mentioned much more stakeholders in the program of activities, and the whole thing is doing much better surveillance and suppression. This tactic is mostly the most important thing. The weather didn't go better. Of course, we have some years or some fire seasons which are milder, some are harder or more severe, but generally the system of surveillance and this camera and whole thing does it in that better direction.
Thank you very much. I don't think there are more. Yeah, there are some open questions, but I think it's better to type them directly. I suppose we will have the question and answer section recorded later. So for now, I would like to thank all the presenters and maybe give the floor to Domingos to say some closing words.
Thank you very much, Liliana. I'd like also to thank all the speakers and all the people that attended this webinar. I'm very proud that we were able to put it together in the scope of our fire risk project. And I think it was a very good example of collaboration in a country, a system that is perhaps not known for many, but in the project we work with our colleagues and partners. And we know that this is a very good example of managing the risk in a country that has the problem, that the problem is increasing, but where we could see that there is already a great connection between the different stakeholders, and which is also very important for us as scientists to see that the science and the research community is involved in the process. And what we have seen are wonderful examples. I saw in the attendance lots of comments of people that come from different parts of the world that are interested in your system. We could see that you are working as a team, you are putting tools from science, from technology at the service, let's say, with a very good sense, and it is giving results. Of course, we cannot judge just for 5, 6, 10 years. It has to be on long term. But we can see that you are also involving the people, the citizens, and the communities. And this is what is very important. I must say that my initial experience with your country and with these problem fires was with the tragedy of Kornati many years ago. But fortunately, I see different and very good changes. And I hope that what we have presented today, the example of Croatia, of course, is inspiring for all of us. And I hope that with our project, we also can bring your solutions, your approaches, your vision to the benefit of other countries, of Europe, and hopefully also for the world. I thank you again for organizing this meeting, this webinar, and I thank you all for your wonderful participation. Thank you. I forgot to say that for those of you that want to follow this event, and especially the presentations, the meeting was recorded. And the previous webinars are also recorded. If you are interested in having access to them, please ask to us and we'll make it available. Thank you again. Bye.
Yeah, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.